if you were wanting to rebuild the cap on a 900 BM illumination housing, you have to take it off the slit lamp by removing the screw, or you could leave it on, doesn't matter. Take off your two side nuts. And in here you have spring contacts. You have the main center and the edge. And many times the center contact gets bent out of the correct tension, so it's not putting the correct tension on your bulb. So we're going to take this one off and check it and adjust it if necessary. One way you can do it, right side up. Push down on the center cap while you're unscrewing the center screw. When you feel the top disc slip past the groove, then unscrew it just a little bit more, and then that's good enough. We'll turn it over. The disc, may need to do it a little bit more, or you can take it out. This way is, you don't have to take it out. Your disc will be loose. You can move this out of the way to get your disc out. You can either take that out or leave it in. I like to leave it in. It's got a groove on all three posts, and the disc fits into the grooves on each post. And even when it's tight, the disc is a little bit loose. That's okay. Now to get to our center spring, we're going to take this screw completely out. Going to just loosen the top screw. I can take the bar all the way out, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to loosen it. I'm going to turn the bar out of my way and then snug it. Just keep it out of my way. Now I can get to my center spring. It's got a little pinhole in here. You'd have to have something really thin to go in there, or you can just use needle nose pliers. Just turn it, loosen it. Now you have your post, your spring, and a nut. When it goes back on, it's going to go right in there, fit in here. Okay, so here's our issue. This spring gets out of alignment. You can either buy a new one, which has the correct alignment, or you can readjust your old one. If you don't know what that angle is, it's a 70-degree angle. If you had a protractor, you could make a line at 70 degrees. That would be your correct angle. This is a new one, 70 degrees. So we'll check our used piece, and it's not at 70 degrees. Not only that, it's not flat. So we'll try to flatten our piece out. Okay, then we'll set our angle. Our angle needs to be 70 degrees. I'm grabbing it about down low and twisting it. I did it too much. And you think you've got it? You can reuse it. Same thing with the top spring contact. We take that one out. If it looks bent. Most of the time these don't really get bent, but now this one is 80 degrees. If you had a protractor, you could make a line 80 degrees, and that could be your reference point. This one wasn't bad. I just took it off to show you. Similarly, you would have to bend this to get your correct angle right. Once you had it right, you can put it back together. There's a little groove in the cap that it needs to fit in. When it's time to put your lower spring contact in, be helpful if you had cotton swab. Stick that in the hole. Stick your spring in. You can put your nut on that. To line it up. Line it up on the inside. Put your finger on it. Look at it. Make sure you've got it in place. Hold it straight. Pull your stick straight out. Hold your finger on it. Put your stud right back in. Like it, tighten it up. Now you can bring your bar back into place. Put your screw back in. Tighten both sides. Got the right tension on it now. Now you can put your disc back in. You might want to flip it to where the the cleaner side is up, or it's going to be on top. Just slide it in. Slide it into the lower slots of your two studs below. Let it fall into those grooves, and then move your top post to slide your disc back into place. Once it falls into place, put your finger on it, tighten your screw back up. Make sure they're all tight. Make sure everything's tight. And now you have a properly tensioned spring contact in your cap. Another thing you might want to check on your lower half, these studs can get loose. Turn it over, check them. There's a screw on them. Make sure those are tight. Sometimes when you can't seem to tighten your cap, it's because these studs are loose. Tighten those up. And another reason that they could be loose is because your slots are worn down so much that it's hard to catch. While you're here, might as well check your springs on your slits. Springs right here. Make sure they're in. Sometimes they're sticking out over age, over time. Push them back in. If it squeaks when you open the slits, put a little dab of rim oil right on the pivot point. Just a drop of rim oil on each pivot point, and that will eliminate the squeak. Your condensing lens, clean it. Put everything back together.